Hey guys, this is Richie and we are back. This upload, we're going to be looking at achieving that Texas tone. Now I've owned a few blackfaces over the time. I had a super reverb that was modded by Tommy Cougar, which was just an exceptional amp that I should really never have let go, but these things happen, right? But I now own a Vibroverb. I've worked my ass off for these amps, and it's my passion. So anybody out there who thinks anything's been handed down, I grafted for these. So yeah, the amp, the Vibroverb is all stock. And late last night, whilst on kind of like a tone wormhole, I was looking into the Texas tone and like mods that Cesar Diaz might have done to Stevie's Vibroverb. And after several different links and several different videos, I come to the Fender Guru page, which most people probably have seen at some point. So there's quite a lot of good information on that page regarding mod's probably not even the right word, but easy adjustments that can be made to the amp to kind of make it break up at earlier volumes, become more open, a little more aggressive by simple tube pulls or tube swaps. And I'm probably actually as well going to disconnect the tremolo. Because that's quite an easy one to do. So what I'm going to do this video is going to be, I'm going to play it dry. I'm going to play it as it is with all the tubes in exactly the right positions as they should be according to the original schematics. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all the adjustments that I can that I think is going to push me closer to that Texas tone at an earlier volume. I've got a run of gigs coming up, and even though the Vibroverb is smaller than the super reverb, it's a damn sight louder. So I can't even really push it that far without the attenuator. So I'd like to try and achieve those tones earlier by some simple mods. And that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about pulling tubes, diving inside, and basically unsoldering two wires from what I've read, and sharing with you my thoughts on it, seeing if it does achieve the tone, or is a lot of it hearsay. I'm going to be playing my Strat straight in. I might put something in front, and if I do, I will let you know. And that's kind of it. That's what this is going to be about, just sharing the tones. As always, guys, I'm trying to really push up my subscriber count, and I'm putting a lot of time into these videos. I love doing them. I really enjoy doing them, and I've got a lot of great content coming. There's an artist series coming up soon with some really good players, and obviously our pickups are going to be on display. The pre-CBS are going to be in my number one for this particular video, and we're going to try and achieve Texas tones at lower volumes. Let's get into the video. Okay, guys. So this is the first clip with no mods. Actually, it's a lie. I've got a solid state rectifier in the rectifier tube, which I'll show you shortly, and which I always run in there. I say always, I put it in there last night. I'm always going to run in there. And I just haven't changed it back for the tube rectifier. So that's the only thing that might be a bit different. So yeah, here's my settings. When there's a little bit of drive added, I'm just using a very cheap sparkle drive, but I really like what this offers in terms of the clean blend. And that's it. That's all that's in the chain. Let's get into it. guys, so we're going to get into it. I'm going to take apart the amp. I'm going to take the back off the amp, and we're going to look at the tubes. We're going to go through it. I'm going to do all the stuff on that on the Fender Guru page, bar the tremolo mod, and we're going to see how it sounds. Okay. So I've already took one of the screws off here already, and I'll be firing into it. This amp is exactly as it would have been coming out of Fender pre-CBS. So this is 1964. Not many of these Vibroverbs made, and certainly not many with a European voltage. So in V1, I'm just consulting that Guru page on my phone here. In V1, with the preamp normal channel, well, one of the mods is to take that out. By taking that out, you send more juice, I guess, to the vibrato channel, which allows for earlier breakup. I'll check that in a minute because I could be wrong. Just in case I hadn't said it before, I'm not a tech. I'm just doing this stuff, just an everyday guy doing this stuff that is very easily reversible and will do no damage to the amp, and not affect its originality in any way, just from a few tube pulls which have been done since Fender has pretty much began, from what I can read, and a few different variation of tubes should give us a different tone, Texas tone earlier. So in V1, this one, we have the preamp normal channel, V2 preamp vibrato, then the reverb send, that's the reverb transformer right there. Then we've got a reverb recovery and half the gain stage for the vibrato channel. Then we got the vibrato, then the phase inverter, then the power tubes, then the rectifier tube. I'll get round to this one shortly because I've already got a solid state rectifier in that I put in there yesterday, that my good friend Russ down at Camborne had made up for me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these off. What I like to do whenever I'm doing, I do play around with glass quite a bit in terms of tubes. What I like to do when I change tubes is set them out below the amp as if it was still in the amp. That way it's really easy for me not to get confused, because it's easy to lose your way if you get distracted or if your phone goes or anything like that. This is quite easy to do. Lay them out like that, then as they come out they're going to fall into the tubes and you know where they go back. So we've got a 12AX7, a 12AX7, a 12AT7, a 12AX7, a 12AX7, a 12AT7, 6 L6s, then what would be a GZ34 rectifier tube. So reading down through the Fender Guru here, we are going to look at some mods, easily reversible as I said, and let's see what the first one is. Let me get to it. Okay, so the 12, you can put a 12AY7 or a 12AT7 as a preamp tube for less preamp gain. If you want cleaner and spankier preamp distortion characteristics, you may replace the V1 or V2 12AX7 preamp tubes with 12AT7 and 12AY7. If you're like most players and use only the vibrato channel, I think that's definitely me. I mean, I'm part of the attraction to these old Fender amps is just because of the reverb as well as the tone. I love Fender reverb. It's my favorite reverb ever. So I never use channel 1. I just don't. So I think we can safely say we could pull V1. So if you're using the normal channel, you can pull out V2. And if you're using the vibrato channel, you should pull out the V1 tube. This is the preamp tube for the normal channel. So what we'll do is we're going to pull that out. No science, guys. A bit of a tug. And I'm going to put that AX7 right in there. Mod 1. Trick 1. Okay. So I haven't changed in V2, yeah, I haven't changed that for an AT or a Y, but I may do that. I'll just go and get my bag of tubes and I shall be back. Okay, and we are back. I've got a selection of tubes out, and we are going to run through pulling the tubes out and going through them. So we'll pull the It's all a bit of a lottery sometimes anyway. Tommy Cougar, you guys know from Phillips Ace, etc. and all, I talk to him from time to time. He's told me in no uncertain terms you could buy an amazing tube that's going to cost you X amount of pounds and it might not stand up next to a cheap tube, so it is kind of a lottery. Obviously your odds are going to be better with a better tube, but yeah, you know, it's still a lottery. I am going to do the tremolo disconnect mod, maybe not for this video, but it will get done. I just need to read up a bit more about it, because there's obviously quite a bit of danger involved opening up an amp and touching stuff that still carries voltage. So I'm going to put that in. If I can get it out. Is this. So that's just the bottom of a tube rectifier with a little bit of magic inside. Some magic in there that turns it basically into a solid state rectifier, which should theoretically tighten up the bottom. I was quite worried about having to rebias the amp for this, but apparently you don't need to, so my amp tech tells me. I'm sure there's people out there who say you do. So the dial rectifier, this is one of CZ Diaz mods to Stevie Ray Vaughan's amp, which implemented in the newer Fender custom shop, blah blah blah. This mod is for those who need more power, clean headroom and attack. It's very practical to carry with you those small Soltech plastic adapters, so that's what this kind of is, right? That replaces the rectifier tube. So I think I've kind of done a bit of a mismatch of everything there, if I'm interpreting that right. I've kind of done mods to make it break up earlier, but mods to give it cleaner headroom as well. If there's any of you guys that can point me in the right direction in terms of one direction than several, please leave a comment below and point me in the right direction. Like I said, I am going to do the tremolo disconnect. I want to try that because it's only 2 wires to be disconnected. I've got the tremolo in there, but I don't use it very often. And that's kind of it, guys. I'm going to put this back together now, and we're going to see how it sounds. Okay guys, so just giving you a quick kind of playthrough. My thoughts on it is, in the first clips where the amp was driven, that's how the amp sounds now. So it feels like it's got extra drive with it, bit more bite and a bit more clarity. And then when you add the drive, it just takes it to sizzle territory. So it's louder, it's definitely louder, it's hurting my ear. And I've kept the camera controls as close as I could. This was done over 2 days. But yeah, I think it's definitely bolder, punchier. To my ears, a bit brighter, louder. And yeah, I'm going to be keeping that in that order for certain. And if you want to see the tremolo disconnect video, that I'm probably going to do after this, if there's enough interest, make sure to let me know below. That's something you'd like to see, because what I read about that is that's meant to make the amp even more stout. So if any of you guys watching this have any experience with that, can you please let me know below and let me know your thoughts, because it's something I want to do, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I don't want to get in there too much given its originality, but if you guys kind of think it's worth doing, I'll do it. So yeah, if you could let me know below if you're into it. And as always, thanks so much for watching. It means a great deal to me. These videos are going to be coming thick and fast, and I love doing these, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Richie from Fret Junkies. Peace.